Hello, traders. FX Pip Collector here. Today is Tuesday, January 14th, and this is my PM recap video where we look at the euro dollar, we'll look at the pound dollar, and take a look at gold. Pretty decent moves today from the PPI news for sure, not too bad. Definitely called it very nicely this morning. So, anyways, the first thing I like to do is always to check out the news calendar. Tomorrow morning in the London session, actually pre-London session, 7 a.m. UK time, we have CPI inflation data. So definitely keep an eye on the pound pairs around that time if you're available. But the big news this week is definitely the US dollar inflation data, which is coming out tomorrow. We also have some New York manufacturing index, not that big of a deal, and some oil news, which is also not that big of a deal. The highlight of tomorrow is definitely going to be the CPI inflation data. They're expecting inflation to be up a little bit. If it comes out different than what they forecast, then I would expect to see a big giant move. If it comes out exactly as they forecast, then it may not be too big of a deal. Normally, CPI either way does move the market pretty decently, so we definitely want to keep an eye out for that. So this morning I was talking about, if you are a short time frame trader, that you could possibly get a long at the end of a three-way pullback. And hopefully you listened to my morning video because that's pretty much exactly what happened today. I did end up taking a long on the euro dollar and the US dollar Swiss. I went short on. So now the thing is we need to try to determine whether this move up right here is a correction to this move down or not. So I got my Fibonacci retracement on here. I would expect it to at least go up and break struts these higher time frame or these higher structures up here. So I think that we're minimum going to go to the 61.8 and possibly even a little bit further. Now with CPI data coming out tomorrow, we have to keep in mind that every single higher time frame is in a downtrend. When every single higher time frame is in a downtrend, you have to remember that the trend is your friend. And what I mean by that is we could possibly get a Fibonacci bounce and a break of structure tomorrow at the news and get another impulsive move down, which would make new lows on the higher time frames. We definitely don't have a break of structure on the daily to the upside. The trend is definitely down on any of the higher time frames. So I am long on the euro dollar, but very cautiously. This is definitely counter trend because the trend is your friend, and the trend is definitely down on the higher time frames. Moving on to the pound dollar. Pound dollar made a little bit of a deeper move to the downside, mostly because of the pound weakness that we got going on lately. But I still think it's pretty much the same thing. I still think this is likely either an A or a 1, and this is likely either a B or a 2. I think this will probably at least go up to the 50% so I can at least take out these highs, maybe grab some liquidity up there. We got to keep an eye out on the CPI news tomorrow because if this thing goes up to any one of these fib levels and then makes a very aggressive turn to the downside, we better exit our longs and potentially go short again because the trend is down also on the pound dollar on every single higher time frame. The trend is your friend. Momentum is definitely still to the downside on the dollar pairs. Now let's take a look at gold. Gold is definitely a dollar pair, but gold definitely does its own thing. So gold is kind of like its own little beast, doesn't really follow the dollar that closely always. Now, this morning I was talking about how this is probably going to go up and make a correction to this move down, and really, it's been kind of a slow day for gold overall, but it's definitely doing what I was talking about this morning. I got my Fibonacci retracement on the last impulsive move down. I would expect this move up to very likely be a correction to this move down. Watch your Fibonacci levels very closely. If you get a Fibonacci bounce, especially if you can identify a break of structure on maybe a little bit of a sort of time frame to the downside, then I definitely would take it as a short. I'm really kind of hoping that this is a 1, 2, 3 and it just bounces from a fib level tomorrow and takes off to the downside. But it definitely could end up being an ABC and end up making a higher low compared to this low and continuing the higher time frame uptrend. So technically, the momentum is kind of up on the gold right now, and there's always a chance that this is just another correction within a uptrend on the higher time frames. So, anyways, yeah, definitely, I am going to be in a Zoom meeting tomorrow at the CPI News with my members. If anybody does want to join my membership, then you get access to all the benefits listed down here below for only $30 per month. But you can also join my absolutely free Discord channel, 100% free to join trading community. The link for that is at the end of this video and also in the description of this video. So anyways, as always, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the evening and happy trading as always.